Raw and Nerdy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Raw and Nerdy. This is episode number 71. We are back with the full crit casting crew. And I can talk, I swear. I am Joe the Wigit, and I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, starting with the missing person himself, Rook. That's where you talk.
You said I was a missing person, so I'm being quiet.
You've been missing.
We're
missing
the
for 2
person.
weeks.
Bad. Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm back. I had a busy Sunday the past 2 weeks, so I'm glad to be back.
So he ditched us. And we are joined as always by the man who's the Master Blaster plan? I don't know. I didn't think. Archon?
Old Faithful. Old Faithful. I've been here.
Old Faithful? Yeah, that works.
No, I don't like the word old. I don't want to use the word old. So we'll figure something out.
Nah, it's already locked in.
Nope.
It's scrubbed in there. It's good.
Nope.
It's staying
guys,
in there.
It is finally time to get back to our list because Rook is here. So we can finally do it.
2-week delay, but we are back and we are getting into the Xbox 360. Next week, we'll be going into the PlayStation 3. Following after that will be the Wii. We were talking about how at the end of the systems, we're going to go into the bigger things like arcade, PC, handhelds. That's where those lists are going to get very difficult.
PC is going to be so hard for all of us.
That's going to be a big episode because that's of all time and that spans through many years. And I
don't know if I could do 10. We might have to do 20.
We might have to do split it up like a top 10 list for old, like pre-2020, and then a top 10 list after 2020.
Maybe.
That will make it a really short top 10 list for after 2020.
Yeah, that's only 5 years.
There's a lot that happened in 5 years. Okay, 2010.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, that might work. We'll see. We'll see how big it gets if we have to split it or not.
You might have to, because I can fill up 10 games from before the year 2000 easy.
I didn't start gaming on PC until like 6-7 years ago.
You know, it could be fun just do a top 20 list for the PC.
That works.
Yeah, you can do that. You guys will figure it out. That's going to be a few months away. We still got quite a few systems to go through and a lot to talk about. So I don't have a list for 360 because, to be fair, I never played the system. Not once.
That boggles my mind. That boggles my mind that you've never played that system.
I never played any system of the Xbox after the original Xbox.
That's a huge, huge system.
Yeah, I was a PlayStation guy, played through Nintendo. I always had PlayStations and Nintendos, and my PC. Master Race!
Yeah, I agree. PC's the master race. What are we going to do? Are we going to jump into the list first? Are we going to jump into some news first? What do you want to do?
We're definitely going to get into the list, but I want to get into our weeks, because it's been a heck of a week, at least for me. I want to know about you guys as well. And then we'll jump into some news, then we'll just finish it off with a bang with the 360.
That works.
Let's do it. So, since he hasn't been here in 2 weeks, Rook, you do your list first. Or you do your week first, I mean.
Let's see.
His notes are very simple.
They are very simple. I wasn't able to make it last week because, the week before that, I was at work over the weekend. And then last week, Sunday, I went to the NASCAR race at the Circuit of the Americas down in Texas. So that's why
How'd
I
that go?
missed the show here. It was awesome. Got a little tan.
Was there any cool crashes?
Actually, there was no real major crashes. There was...
Man.
That's the real reason people go to those things anyway.
But road courses, you don't really have that often. This is a road course. It's also one where I think they run Formula 1 on, but they did a shorter track than what they would run Formula 1 on. And it was interesting. I was on turn 15 grandstand, so it was right there, right before they got to the final set of turns to where the last overtake was. And it was just awesome watching that race to the end.
I know nothing about racing other than they have really fast cars they spend way too much money on.
Yeah, you just said a lot of words. They were definitely words. They didn't make much sense, but they were words.
Words came out of my mouth.
I'm going to be talking about a car, but that's totally different.
Anyhow, otherwise this week, Monday I played Avowed. And that's the last time I played Avowed because I worked and slept and also worked out. And that's been about my week until today when I played Dragon Age Inquisition.
I never could get in Dragon Age games. I think it might have been Inquisition. I played for about a couple hours and just kind of lost interest on it.
Inquisition is the newer, not Veilguard, but the one right before it.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was one of them.
Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 were before that.
I haven't done much of the Dragon Age.
I played Origins. I don't think I've played any of the other ones, but Veilguard is free on PlayStation Network right now. It's like the free game for the month, so I'm definitely going to download it, play it at some point. I'm sure.
On character creation, asks you to fill in some minor details, so I'm starting to play Inquisition, so that way when I start Veilguard, I can see if it automatically reads that information.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that it's been getting a pretty rough rap, like the new one, Veilguard, but I don't know. I want to make an opinion for myself, so a lot of every game nowadays, like there has not been a game come out recently that people are just like I take that back. Baldur's Gate 3.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Other than Baldur's Gate 3, every other game, as soon as it comes out, people just like dissect it to pieces and have nothing but negative things to say about it, no matter how good it is. So
we dissected that dissection on Avowed Raw on last episode.
We did kind of.
Check out episode 4 of Avowed Raw. I believe was it 4 or 5? Mm-hmm. I'm all lost because I always pull up the notes every time I start playing Avowed. I pull up my notes and I make the new one, and I get lost of which one was the last one. And
I think it was 4.
Yeah. Regardless, the last episode we did, near the end of the episode, we got into that and how the industry is just doing it for clickbait. And it's not really the industry anymore. It's just influencers and all that BS
YouTubers
that are
trying to get clicks.
That's all it is. So they trash these good games just for their own gain.
And then there's hundreds of thousands of people out there that follow these YouTubers and are just like, oh, well, they didn't like the game, so I hate the game too. I've never even seen a trailer for it, but I hate it because this YouTuber does.
Yeah, that's the term influencer, because people don't have a brain for themselves anymore.
And then it just snowballs, and try a game. Try it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to take any of those guys seriously, and it will always go for myself. Now, if you guys play a game, and you give me a feedback on it, and if you didn't like it, odds are I won't try it, because I trust you guys. I know you guys' play styles, so.
Mm-hmm. That's true. No, but if it is online with Inquisition, I think I'll like the game.
Very nice. I will take your word for that, because I have not played Inquisition.
I neither.
Except for Veilguard, I've played all of them.
Nice.
I think it was the first or the second Dragon Age I played. I don't know what the names are.
Dragon Age Origins is number 1, and Dragon Age 2.
It might have been Origins I tried playing.
Be a good one
to
start
it was a while back. What about your week, Archon? What have you been up to, man?
Surprised you let me go first. You've been like, I know you're itching. I know you're itching to tell your story, but my week has been full of lots of different things. Like,
that's not bad though.
I hit one of those ruts where I want to play something, but I don't know what I want to play, so I'm just kind of going through lots of different games and playing them for a little while. I even had like a little 2-day spurt where I was playing some Minecraft again, and as fun as it is,
that's one you could always go back to and enjoy.
Yeah, I am. Like, I found a bunch of mods and stuff and made this like really crazy server with just a bunch of fun stuff that's kind of almost, it's got like an MMO feel to it, but not quite. I don't know. But it's kind of fun. I've been messing around with that. And then I also have, I played Enshrouded again for a little while, because that's also a game I can go back to at any time, because with all the advancements and stuff they keep making to it, it just keeps getting better and better.
That's one of those games where they really are taking that game to heart and hammering home with it.
You could tell that studio wants that game to succeed, because they are like, not only are they taking the feedback from people playing it and doing what they say, but they're also like, putting their heart and soul into the game. It's pretty good. Also, I've been playing a lot of EverQuest again lately, because the Lost Dungeons of Norath expansion dropped. It's like a mini expansion, so they only have it for 4 weeks, and then like the next big one comes out on the 27th of this month. So I've been playing that a little, just getting back into it, because the next big one I really want to play. So I want to make sure I'm all up to date and ready for that. So I'm been doing that a little bit. Other than that, like Rook, like we've kind of gotten into this little workout habit, and I've kind of gotten slightly obsessed with it.
Which is so good. I'm so happy that you guys are doing this. I said it many times before, and I'll keep saying it. You guys are just awesome. Keep it up.
Today I went to the gym, and I got on the tread. Well, I did all my workout and stuff, and then today I forgot it was my rest day, and I was only supposed to do cardio today. So I just I'm like all into my workout, and then I'm like, oh wait, I was only supposed to do cardio today. All right, I better go do some cardio. So I got on the treadmill and started like jogging. Like I do a thing where I'll jog for 10 minutes, walk for 5, jog for 10, walk for 5, and I just alternate back and forth. And on the TVs, they had the Michigan State basketball game playing. So I was watching that while I was doing my jog and stuff, and all of a sudden the machine starts slowing way down. I'm like, what the heck? I looked down and I had hit the 60-minute limit, and it was cooling me down. I was like, wait, I've been on this thing for 60 minutes already? I didn't even notice. A few weeks ago, I would have been dead if I jogged for 60 minutes. I would have been dead. But today
I still would be dead.
I didn't even notice. I was just plugging along, watching the game.
My cardio is just a fast walk. I hate jogging so much.
Which my Spartans won, by the way. Go green. I'm liking the progress I'm making.
It makes you feel better every day, doesn't it?
Yeah. It makes me sore, but I like the sore. Yeah. It's a good sore. So
I always noticed that since I started going to the gym 6 days a week, that I had way more energy during the day. I felt more energetic and upbeat through the day. I love that fact.
Yeah, I've been on a pretty good streak. Like, for the longest, for like a week and a half I was going, and I just could not figure out why I wasn't losing any weight. It was like, no matter what I did, it wasn't working. But I noticed that, like, I've had to tighten my belt almost 2 notches, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I'm not losing weight, which is, I don't know.
Well, that's because your muscle is balancing out with the weight gain or weight loss.
I figured as much, but I started doing a lot more cardio because, like, I was talking to Rook about this the other day. Like, my goal personally is, I know I'm never going to get here, but my goal is to be like somewhere around like the Ryan Reynolds type physique as opposed to like a Rock physique. I don't want to be huge. So what I'm trying to do is add more cardio in so that I can slim down rather than bulk up.
That's what I do. I've been sticking with like the cut look, not bulky.
Yeah.
Besides, my lady wouldn't like bulky anyway, so.
Right. I don't want to bulk. So like I'm trying not to do a ton of lifting because I don't want to try, because I put on muscle pretty quick and I don't want to put on a bunch of like huge amounts of muscle. I just want to slim down. Like I don't want to look like one of them world's strongest man guys that are just like really strong, chubby guys. Like I don't want that. So I've been like really trying to kill it with cardio. So I've been like the last like 5 days now, done at least 5 miles on cardio. And I've been noticing that for the last 5 days, I've been averaging about a pound a day. I've been
also, like one of our listeners, one of Rook's good friends, she told me, which changed my workout habit completely, was just keep your heart rate up during your workout. So when you're doing your lifting, keep your heart rate. So you do something in between sets. Like I always do crunches because your abs, they heal faster than anything else. So I do about 12 crunches in between each set, and my heart rate stays right around 115 to 130. And keep that up, and you're going to it'll just burn the calories right off.
Oh, yeah. Mine definitely stays above that the entire time I'm working out.
Well, you see a lot of people who sit there and rest for a minute between sets, and I'm like, that's not going to do you much good. You got to keep that heart rate, that rhythm going. Yeah, it still does. You'll still gain muscle, but if you want to trim up... Why are you
lying to everybody?
If you want to trim up, you got to keep your heart rate going.
You keep your heart rate up by doing a 30-second rest, no longer. As long as you don't drop longer than 30 seconds, your heart rate doesn't drop significantly. It drops like 1 or 2 beats.
Not according to my heart monitor.
According to my heart monitor, it does.
Not mine. See, everyone's physique's different.
We're also much bigger than Joe is. Joe's already slim. So, like, his heart rate is, like, my heart rate gets up from walking to the toilet. I mean, like, let's be real here. I'm a bigger dude, so it doesn't take as much. But I have noticed that, like, when I do my jogging and stuff like that, it doesn't go up near as much as like, when I first started, I was peaking at, like, 160. My heart rate would be, like, 160 just jogging. Now it generally stays pretty steady around 130.
I'm doing my cardio. I'm right around 120, 115, 120. It doesn't go very high, even though I'm doing at least between 4 and 5 miles an hour fast walk. Yeah. It doesn't go that high. And I'll do that for about 20 to 30 minutes. But when I maintain constantly doing crunches in between every set of my workout, I can maintain that 120 to 130 mark for the entire workout.
Yeah, I generally, when I'm jogging, I'll be at about 130, and then when I'll stop and I'll go get some water, and then I'll walk out to my car and get in my truck, and my heart rate's still at 120.
All right, guys, I'd like to bring you all into raw fitness.
Well, we have discussed before that you can be nerdy about lots of different things. Right now, my nerd fixation is like fitness, because I've been like,
it's a good
really
thing to promote.
Hard.
So
I know, but we don't have to spend a whole 15-minute segment on it.
We actually spent less than 5.
Why not?
But no, I'm
talking about my week, and that has been a big part of my week.
And the cool thing is me and Archon are constantly checking in on each other.
Yes, we are, and I like that. That keeps me accountable. And like I said before, I have to be kept accountable, or I get lazy. But I'm to the point now where like I want to go to the gym. I generally go like around noon every day, and I find myself at like 11, like looking at my watch, like, is it time to go? Is it time to go? But I try and keep like a pretty decent, like a pretty set routine when I can. So
of course
You have to.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's harder to make a habit than, or was it that term? Something like,
it's hard to maintain a habit than it is to drop one.
yeah,
Something like that.
something like that. Anyway, is that it for your week, or do you have more?
No, that's pretty much been my week. That's been dominating my weeks.
Monday, I went to Bakersfield, my last day at that Bakersfield office, and helped my my replacement for that office go in and get ready to take over. And he's been doing pretty good. Still has a lot to learn. Anyway, he's a good guy.
They're doomed.
And then Tuesday, so I have here a little backstory on this really quick. My old car I had for about 7 years. It was a Ford Focus hybrid, 2015. I bought it used after I found out my credit was destroyed, but that's a whole long story I'm not going to get into on the air. And I had a stupid high APR, like 24%. I know everyone's cringing that hears that. It was dumb, but I had no choice. I had to have a car. I paid that car off twice and still owed $10,000.
See, that to me tells me somebody scammed that whole setup because, or you paid it off already and they just kept pulling money. Because
That's what I think. Something was really, really fishy about that because there's no way I should have been able to. The amount I paid them with all the interest was worth double the car.
Even with high interest, your loan was what, a 6-year loan? That's the maximum you should have paid was 6 years. They shouldn't have kept paying you more and more and more.
So they gave me a notice saying that my loan was going to default, is what they call it, or it goes over the limit, and they're going to report to the credit bureau that I'm delinquent and all that garbage. So I got into a car with my brother, and we went to Kia to check out because I was looking at different cars, and I love the look of the K4 and K5s. Really sharp looking cars, and all the features of them, the safety and all of them. So I want to go check them out. We drove 45 minutes to Lancaster, and as soon as we got off the freeway, my car started blinking, and the maintenance light and the check engine light came on at the same time. Literally 2 minutes from the dealer. And my luck is in full force. Yeah. Got to the dealer, and I had just hit 200,000 miles too, the day before, on Monday. That gives you how long I've been pushing that car. With my job, I put way too many miles on it. But being Central California, I had to drive everywhere all the time. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Went and test drove, looking at their K5s and their K4s. And I found one of the K4s, that really beautiful white one, brand spanking new, had 13 miles on it. I was like, I want to test drive this one. This is when I was looking up online. This is what I want to try. Got in that car and drove it for about 10 minutes. Said, yep, I'm buying this car. And that's before I even knew all the features in the car. Like it has the self-steering, the adaptive cruise, all that kind of stuff, which I was playing with. It's almost like a self-driving car. It will even follow my map. It's just a beautiful car. The only thing I didn't like was at first was the steering wheel felt too close to the dash screen, which is all one screen across the dash, which is awesome because you can change all the cool features, change how my speedometer works and looks. And yeah, I fell in love with that car. The keyless entry, the whole alarm system. I can app control my car, see how much gas I have on it. And there's all kinds of things on it. So through a miracle, they were able to take in my old car, gave me about $2,000 on it, and tacked on the loan on top of my loan with an 8% APR for 4 years.
Right.
And I'm just paying a little bit more than I was paying before.
That's the good thing about new cars is it's usually easier for a dealership to take over an upside down car that they know they're not going to turn around and sell than with a new vehicle versus an old one.
And big shout out to Kia Palmdale. Those guys are amazing. They went above and beyond.
Credit. Lancaster and Palmdale might be crap areas, but the dealerships are on point.
Oh, yeah. Palmdale, California, by the way. Yeah, the guys that were there, the finance people, the managers were all amazing. They all got involved in it, and they were managed to cut me the deal. When they came out to me and said, this is how much we can offer you per month if you pay this per month. And I was like, okay, deal. I shook on it, did the paperwork, and they even got me more credit, which lowered my payment even further.
Nice.
So they were, and then they gave me a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty for free.
Well, that's Kia. All Kia.
The Diamond package.
As far as I know of, all Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
They charge for that package extra.
Huh. They did. I know they didn't used to because, like, my ex-girlfriend used to work for a Kia dealership, and
Well,
I
that's the
almost
thing.
got
It's
a Kia
also
for that very reason.
It's a bumper to bumper warranty for 10 years, 100,000 miles. They showed me the whole package thing with the different price points of the different warranties on it. And it also includes my electronics, which that car is like half electronics. And I have trunk space again. Didn't have that with my old car. But yeah, the only thing that's not better is the gas mileage. I think I get about 10 miles a gallon, 10 miles a gallon less than my Focus when it was, actually a good car, not dying.
Yeah, but now you only have to drive 0.6 miles to work.
I'm 5 minutes away from work. It's 0.6 miles away. My other office I manage is 35-minute or 45-minute drive. And that's the same day thing. I don't have to worry about staying overnight anymore every time I go out of town for my offices, which happened all the time. These guys know I was recording from the hotel room more than I was at home for a while.
So here's my question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you have a new car and you love driving it, but if you're only 0.6 miles from the office, what are you doing driving to work?
I have my mountain bike.
I was going to say, you should be either biking or walking. It's only half a mile.
Oh, I brought my mountain bike for that. I can get to work actually faster using that because of the traffic and lights.
Maybe a 5-minute drive, but it's only like a 10-minute walk. Come on. And that's at a slow pace.
Yep, I got my mountain bike. I'm definitely going to be doing that. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing. I love my mountain bike. It's going to be fun. But yeah, lately I've been driving to work. Well, I only worked on Friday. I had to take Thursday off because we moved on Wednesday, and that was a disaster. 6.5 hours driving, and that was 4 hours more than it should have been because of bumper-to-bumper traffic because it was raining. So we got here very late. We got here at 6:30. The apartment complex was awesome, and they stayed late to make sure we can move in. Did the whole thing, and I started moving everything at about 7:30, and I did most of it all myself. My brother and my dad were here. My dad can't do much at all. I didn't want him to. And my brother, well, he's my brother. He helped me with the big stuff like my dresser and my bed. That was it. And he was too tired. So I unloaded and loaded that truck myself.
I have my opinions on him, but he should have helped a little bit more.
My lady can't do it. So she didn't do anything. And yeah, we moved in. We have our apartment. I have my office, my den. Love the place. It's small, but it's great and way overpriced.
Be glad you got it now when you did, because I got a feeling in the next couple of months, they're going to skyrocket even more.
Oh, yeah. And the apartment complex here, by the way, the Timbers in Riverside, those guys are also good to shout out because they've been amazing. They gave us the 3rd month free because our apartment was aged. And then they gave us $500 off the 4th month because of the promotion. And then they prorated this next month by $400.
Nice.
So we're not going to chance to get some furniture and stuff.
Yeah, get caught up because we don't have a couch. We need a TV stand. We need dining room set. We don't have much, but what we have is
You can go get milk
great.
crates. You can go get a...
No, I'm totally doing
pool.
stuff.
You need
Gonna
all
go
that stuff
full bachelor style.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. And then
Extra ramen.
Thursday, we went and what did I do Thursday? Thursday was unpacking everything, getting everything on my car, got my den set up so I could record. And yeah, it's been nonstop. Yesterday, we went shopping for the different things around the house. Wound up getting a little 48-inch or 46-inch TV for the living room. It's the only one I can fit in my car.
Respectable.
But yeah, it's a great little TV. So we've been really enjoying it. She's been sick constantly. So that's what it is.
Sucks.
Yeah, that's my week. And I got a little bit of time to play Avowed, which I've been really, really wanting to get into more because I'm just finished up about to finish up the 3rd zone. So
But you're almost there.
I haven't gotten out of the 2nd zone yet.
You're almost there. I can't wait.
we talked a lot about you in the last episode, Rook.
Actually, no, I did get out of the 2nd zone.
Yeah, we did. Right?
I'm in the 3rd zone. Yeah.
Your ears ringing. We were talking about you.
No. My ears were ringing because I was around really loud race cars.
No, I'm talking about just this last Thursday when we recorded Avowed Raw. We were talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my ears were ringing from really loud race cars on Sunday.
That'll do it. So the stem cell therapy trial reverses irreversible damage to cornea.
All right. So we were looking up nerd news, and so I found some articles I liked, and this is the first one. So at a Harvard teaching hospital, they're running a unique clinic trial. Let's see. Since it's on the front line of potential hazards from the outside world, the cornea features a population of limbal epithelial cells, stem cells, which repair minor damage to keep the surface smooth and functional. The new study, conducted by scientists at Massachusetts Eye and Ear, investigated a new treatment called cultivated autologous limbal epithelial cells, or CALEC for short, CALEC. It involves removing stem cells from the patient's uninjured eye, growing their population in the lab for a few weeks, and then surgically transplanting them into the injured eye. The phase one of two trial recruited 14 patients to undergo the procedure and followed them for 18 months afterwards. By the first checkup at 3 months, the corneas of 7, which 50% of the participants, had been completely restored. By the 12-month mark, the number had increased to 11 of 14 patients. 2 other participants met the definition for partial success, so the team claims an overall success rate of 92% for that trial.
That's a small little sample size. But that's a very, very promising sample size. We know that stem cells have a huge benefit. I mean, there was a big uproar about how they were harvesting some stem cells a while back and all that kind of mess, and there was a lot of restrictions put on it. But there shouldn't be any restrictions from using your own stem cells to fix yourself. I mean, that's the miracle of science right there.
Your eyeballs and your stomach are 2 places now that I know of that have stem cells. Your stomach has stem cells because it's constantly repairing its cells within your stomach due to the acid. So that's where they normally would get stem cells, my understanding is.
So as long as you have at least one good eye, then you can potentially fix your other eye.
That's what I'm getting.
That's pretty awesome. That is really good.
Yeah, a lot of people like that.
And this next article I posted, I just wanted to read it because the article caught my attention. Mice give first aid. All right, so the Times is reporting an interesting study published in Science magazine in which mice demonstrated doing first aid. In the replicated study, and I can't say that word, a mouse that was been knocked out is exposed to another mouse who recognizes that word. Another mouse who recognized the distress and clears airway to revive the unconscious mouse. That's actually pretty interesting to actually, and it's been replicated, so it's legit.
So they know how to give mouth to mouth. That's amazing. If you ever go down, make sure you're in a mouse infested place.
The mice had never seen an unconscious animal before, so the behavior is thought to be instinctive.
It has to be instinctive, because this isn't the first time people have seen mammals do this. Large social mammals have been documented helping each other, like chimpanzees been seen tending to wounded companions. Dolphins will push distressed pod members to the surface to help them breathe, not breed.
We'll breathe
that
too.
That took a turn real fast.
Yeah, so it's cool just seeing helping others. It's a natural instinct in the mammalian community.
Okay.
Have you guys seen what a quantum chip looks like? They are so cool.
Yes.
The tech nerd in me just
at the same
geeks out.
pictures.
Yeah. It goes crazy for that kind of stuff. But this is something I've actually thought about before, especially with AI advancements. Microsoft and Amazon quantum advancements, which are becoming quite huge, by the way, spark questions about the future of encryption. So modern encryption would take a hacker years to figure out in most cases. But with quantum computing, it can be hacked in a matter of seconds for what we have now. But they are working on post-quantum cryptography, so PQC, which would stand up to a quantum computers, but it requires a whole lot more. So the big thing about this is that when we switch to quantum computing, because it's going to happen, I'm guessing next 10 to 20 years, you'll see possibly even having some variations of home quantum computer in some way. Not full quantum, but the different components, like even having a quantum processor. And they're going to have to change over basically the entire internet encryption base to some kind of form of PQC before these chips become readily available.
Yeah, the processing power on these things is just absolutely mind-blowing.
It's insane. And if we can, and the nice thing about like how these quantum processors, that same technology can be used to create basically quantum storage. So a single terabyte would be equivalent to a kilobyte to us now. In the amount of what it can do and how fast it can retrieve it. It's like you can restore an entire 4 or 5 terabyte computer in a matter of 3 seconds with quantum computing.
Nice.
And right now that would take half of a day.
Yeah, I was reading that article when Joe came across it as well, and I was reading a part where they said that the new Willow chip that they announced they ran like a standard computing algorithm through it that would take normally 1,025 years with the technology we have now, and this Willow chip was able to solve it in 5 minutes.
That's where it gets scary too, because when you
Nuts.
pair quantum with AI technology, that's where you can get true AI.
That is where you're going to get Skynet, and the human race is doomed.
Yeah.
Exactly where I was going with that.
I think of the movie I, Robot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. There's a lot of movies that have told us how wrong this is, and we should probably
But then
slow down and be careful.
there's 2 movie series that tell you how awesome it is. Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah, it depends on how, if we build those regulations we've talked about on the air a few times and we get those in place, there's a chance. There's a chance for humanity.
But see, here's the thing is both Skynet and iRobot, both of those movies came about all these regulations being in place and the computers finding a way around them because they were so smart. That's the problem.
Not just regulations for them, but regulations on how we can develop it and what it can be used.
Hey, guys, you're completely forgetting a major movie about robots taking over the world.
Which one? There's been several. Matrix is, yeah. Well, no, that's saying we already were taken over and this is all just a dream anyway.
Yeah. That's the way you look at it. The Matrix makes more sense than Skynet does.
Skynet?
I don't know. I think there's a lot better batteries in this world, in the universe, than humans.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I don't leave our world, so.
Yeah, well. Anyway, we're here to talk about the Xbox 360. I don't know much about it other than what I lived through the whole era, but it launched worldwide November 2005, and it launched with a price tag of $299.99 for the base 250 gig model, and that's like nothing today. 250 gigs is almost 2 games. It's just 2 games. And $399
games if it's a Call of Duty game.
Right. And $399.99 for the premium edition. So that would be $487 or $650 in today's dollars. And the Xbox 360 discontinued in June of 2014, and it sold 84 million units in that time frame. I believe it was a second place contender for a while until the Wii overtook it.
The big thing with the Xbox 360 though, that the one thing that stands out to me is I remember it had that hard drive on it that you could just pop right off. And you could either put a bigger one on, or like if you were going over to your friends, you could just pop your hard drive off, go over and put it on their Xbox 360 and play games right on their system. That was kind of cool.
360s were actually where the Xbox Live platform really came into itself.
It was called Xbox Gold back then.
Yeah, it became Xbox Live on the PS.
On the PS1.
Xbox
wow.
One.
Where's your brain?
Xbox One.
To the superior system, that's where it's at.
Yeah, the PC.
Yeah, I don't know, now it's not, it went from Gold to Xbox Live to now it's Game Pass?
Yeah.
It just keeps evolving. PlayStation has just always been the PlayStation Network.
But hey.
Well, Game Pass makes sense now that it's also between computer and Xbox.
Agreed.
One thing I do like about the Xbox system is they do use standard processing power. So they're basically mini PCs built into a cabinet. The Xbox was the number one system, and so was the Xbox 360 in the US. Not worldwide, but in the US, it was the top system.
It was popular.
Mm-hmm. Because unlike the others, it was manufactured primarily first in the US.
Yeah.
I mean, it was made by Microsoft, so.
True.
So I don't have any list on it, but we're going to go to the list first, and then we'll get into the Metacritic games, the top 10 and bottom 10, because that's always been fun. But I don't have a list, so it's all on you guys.
All right. Well, let's go first.
Well, we can either Rochambeau it or you go.
I ran a lot today, so I don't want to Rochambeau, so I guess I'll just go. All right. True Archon fashion, I got my 2 honorable mentions.
Of course.
Number 1 is called The Secret of Monkey Island.
Never played that one.
I know those games are so good.
Those games are amazing. They're pirate games.
They're hilarious.
And they're comedy pirate games. You're fighting against the ghost pirate LeChuck, and you have to learn how to be a pirate. And one of the part I remember the best is learning how to sword fight. And sword fighting takes no skill in sword fighting. It's just who can throw the best insult at the other person. And you have to be able to counter their insult with the correct counter to be better than them. And it was
nice.
It was hilarious.
I want to be clear about something. I played many of the games that are on these lists, but only on PlayStation or PC, never on 360.
Yeah, I played Monkey Island on PC as well, but then I also played it on the system because I love those games. They're just amazing.
They're hilarious. I'm surprised you remember those.
Heck no, dude. I love those games. I've played every single one of them. The next honorable mention I have on my list is Lego Star Wars. I love the Lego games.
They're so good.
All of them. They're so good. I actually played Lego Star Wars so much that when the Lego Star Wars Luke Skywalker Complete Saga came out on PS5, I bought that as well. Because those were just... I love Star Wars. I love Legos. And that was like, hello. There'll be another Lego game that I really enjoyed, but it's on my PlayStation list, not on the Xbox list. So into my top 10, Guitar Hero 2 was my number 10. the Xbox 360 was another system that I played a lot of Guitar Hero on because I was a sucker for the game with all the games that had peripherals, guitars, pads, you name it. Like, I worked at a pawn shop during this era, so like I had ready access to like all of these things. So I picked up, that's where I actually got my first Xbox 360 was from the pawn shop I worked at. Number 9, Dark Souls, because I'm a glutton for punishment and I love games that are so hard they make me throw my controller. Dark Souls was no exception. There's a reason why there's a whole genre called Souls-like, because they're games that are just stupid hard. Number 8, Borderlands. I did also play this on PC, but the first time I played it was on Xbox 360. That's where I actually got a love for the game and for the genre and just everything in general. Number 7, because this game is absolutely hilarious and the entire game is a giant lie, Portal 2. Number 6.
Portal 2 came out for 360?
Number 6, probably the funniest game I have ever played in my entire life. I was dying laughing from the time I started the game to the time I ended the game, but I could not play it around my kids. South Park, The Stick of Truth. Do yourself a favor if you haven't played that game, play it.
That's why I'm so surprised you haven't played
hilarious.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day. This is mind-blowing.
I didn't know. I should. Number 5, BioShock. I loved it. I thought it was really cool at the time. Like when it first came out, like it had that sci-fi element to it that I really liked, and it resonated really well with me. Number 4, I still have this game in my basement. I played it a lot on both Xbox and on Wii. It'll be on my Wii list as well because this is probably one of the most fun games that I've played, and I couldn't tell you how long. Skylanders. It's the game that had the little portals, and you had the little figures, and you put your
I remember that.
All your characters were saved, like the choices you made for the skills and everything were saved on the little figures, and you put the little figure on, and it would come in, and the story was hilarious.
My son had that for PlayStation 3.
The like main guy who helps you throughout the game is voiced by the guy who does Joe Swanson on Family Guy.
Nice.
Iconic voice. It's hilarious. I really enjoyed it, and like now I enjoy playing it with my kids. Was just thinking about how I should bring that upstairs and hook it up so that my 3-year-old could play it because he would absolutely love it, especially the little figures. So yeah, that one's my number 4. Number 3, this series is probably 2 of the best games I've ever played. Red Dead Redemption.
I love that game so much, but I played it on PlayStation 3.
So good. When I first heard of this game coming out, and somebody told me that it was Grand Theft Auto, but in the Old West, I was like, that sounds stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played it. And then I played it and was like, oh my gosh, this game is amazing. And then I played Red Dead Redemption 2, which that one came out on a later system, but I played number 2 and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best game I've ever played.
I have it, and I never beat it. I gotta do it again. I have it on PC.
Oh, they're so good. I thought about getting it on Steam because I saw it on sale, and they're so good. Number 2, Fable 2. The Fable series is great.
Anyone who's listening to the show knows it's one of my favorite series.
Yep. I played the snot out of that game. Number 1, no surprise, Borderlands 2. Because Borderlands 2 is the superior Borderlands game.
It is. It's the number 1 Borderlands game ever made. You know, what really surprised me, Metacritic has it listed as number 55.
Yes.
Yeah. Borderlands 1's pretty far down there, too.
Because there's a lot of other games on the console.
But Borderlands 2 is so good.
Other games doesn't affect how good the game is, though.
I like the game, but I wouldn't put it in a top 10, top 20 list.
A lot of people are yelling at you right now off the air.
I definitely did. I definitely put them both.
According to Metacritic,
I definitely put them both on my list, though, because that's one of my favorite series. I really enjoy it. I have played Borderlands 2 all the way through probably 6 or 7 times, and there's no other game on this list I can say that with, so it's got to be my number 1.
That's fair. That's awesome. I love that list. Of course, I play BioShock. I just think.
I've never been a big fan of BioShock.
I liked it.
So, Rook.
All right.
Let's go to your list, man.
Let's go to my list, which is vastly different than yours.
Show me how it's done, sir.
So, I won't caveat this by saying 5 of my top 5 are from 2 different game series. All right. Well, I have 3 honorable mentions because one of them is the one game that has done the most jump scares with me. And so I had to add that one. That's Fear.
That sounds like a scary game.
It is. It actually gave me some jump scares. Yeah. Fallout 3 because I actually
That's
thought
an
that was a
honorable
good
mention.
game.
Wow.
Crisis. Played on a PC.
Yeah, Crisis was one of those games that you had to have a beefy PC to play it.
Yeah.
Beefy.
So let's get into my top 10. Here we go. So my number 10 game is Battlefield 3. I've always been a fan of the Battlefield series of shooters, and 3 and 4 are my favorite by far. Number 9, Red Dead Redemption.
There it is. Yeah, I knew you'd have at least one game I had. There it is.
I liked it because as soon as somebody described to me it was Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West and you could tame wild Mustangs, I was like, I'm in.
It's the Wild Mustangs part, wasn't it? That just locked it in.
Yeah.
No, it was being able to run around with revolvers and shoot people.
Oh, I love the bullet time effect on that game. It was so much fun.
Number 8, Skyrim. It's actually that is the system where I put the most hours of Skyrim on. I had well over, at the time, to me, 100 hours in a game was a lot. And I had well over 100 hours on Xbox 360. Number 7 is Dragon Age Origins. The thing is it won't win any awards for graphics. It won't win any awards for acting, but the story is actually done decently, and the way they did the multi-person party was novel at the time. Number 6 is Mass Effect. I've played all 3 games on this system.
Never played a Mass Effect game, so it from what I've heard, it would probably be on my list had I played it, but I never played any of them.
Mass Effect 1 had a lot of planet exploration and stuff like that, with little Easter eggs on the planets. Mass Effect 2 had it, but not as much. And then Mass Effect 3, don't recall it really having a lot of planetary exploration. Game number 5.
Sounds like your type of game, planetary exploration.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
There's a reason why everything I did in Avowed in the second section was well before the city. All right. Number 5 is Halo 4. Number 4 is Mass Effect 3, because the gameplay to me in Mass Effect 3 was better than Mass Effect 1 and not as good as Mass Effect 2. Even though Mass Effect 3 has the one time I've ever seen a developer listen to all the feedback and add an option post launch. That was number 4. Number 3. So I never played Fable 1 or 2 on this console, but I did play Fable 3 on this console, and I enjoyed Fable 3.
Have you played Fable 2?
Yes, I've played 1, 2, and 3.
1,000 times better. 1 and 2 were better than 3.
Fable 3 was kind of, it wasn't.
I know.
I didn't enjoy it as much.
I think what hurt Fable 3 is it didn't have the same kind of freedom and anonymity as Fable 2 had.
You could still get chickens.
Well, yeah, but anyway.
Hey, number 2 is Halo 3. And then my all-time favorite 360 game is Mass Effect 2.
That doesn't surprise me.
Now, here's the catch. I could have done a top 30 of this and still not match the Metacritic at all.
Yeah, the Metacritic was weird.
It is weird.
I was going through Metacritic. I'm like, I've played this game, but why do they got it way down here? I liked it way up here.
Yeah, Halo 3, none of the Halos made the top 10 in Metacritic. Like the fact your number 1 is Grand Theft Auto 4, where number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5, which blows my mind a little bit there. Because
Grand Theft Auto 4 was a better game.
A lot of people think that 5 was better than 4.
5 was better.
A lot of people liked 5 more, but 4 was a better game, if that makes sense. They liked 5 better, mainly because you could play it online.
I loved the story of 5. I love doing the robberies. That it hit my little nerd fancy doing that. The fact I can go golfing to build my strength.
What's better on 5 over 4 is 5 had the online component, and that's what's still going right now.
Yeah.
More so than the single player. But
I would
Grand
agree
Theft Grand Theft Auto 4, you could always get your cousin to ask you to go bowling.
I did play both of them. Those are the only 2 Grand Theft Autos I ever played, actually, was 4 and 5.
Hey, look on the bright side. Sometime 6 is going to come out.
Yeah.
Someday.
Supposedly this year, apparently.
Someday.
Like we talked about in the last episode.
We'll see about that.
Number 3 on Metacritic is BioShock.
I have never played that series.
See, I'm telling you, it's a good game.
Then number 4 was the Orange Box, which is just basically Valve Collection, which some of those games are amazing. Mass Effect 2 is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is Elder Scrolls Skyrim. 7, Red Dead Redemption. 8, Portal 2. 9, Batman Arkham City.
I played that a few times, but I never really got heavily into it.
Me either. I never got into any of the Arkham games.
I like the concept of the game and the gameplay of the game. I just never really wanted to invest money in it.
I would be interested. I know they came out with one of the Arkham games on the VR, and I would be interested. I might actually even have that game, to be honest with you.
And number 10 was Gears of War.
In trying it.
Number 10 was Gears of War.
I played that one. I liked it. Wait, what system was this one game on? Hold on.
Yeah, I know all of them. All the Gears of War games are on Game Pass, and I've actually thought about playing them. I just haven't yet. It's hard for me to play games like the same with Halo, like playing in that third
time out, got
person
modified
mode.
my list.
You can't modify it. You've already given it to us.
It's already been announced. It's done.
No.
It's
My
done,
my list is wrong, and it's because there's a game I completely forgot about that I played a lot of.
Too late.
It's one of the best co-op games I've ever played.
Just put it
Army of Two.
Okay, I was gonna say if you say a Rainbow Six game, I'm gonna
No. Co-op.
cut you out of the recording right now.
That game was completely designed for co-op. You go back to back. You and your buddy will sit there, can shoot 360 while one guy's crouched, one guy's standing up. It was all about the co-op of the two players.
Okay, well,
let's talk about the bottom, because there's games again that I've never seen in my life.
I haven't even looked at the bottom of the list.
The worst rated game for Xbox 360 is Yaris.
Is what?
Yaris.
That's a game created by Toyota.
Yeah, you hop into a Toyota Yaris. Yeah, it's dumb. I didn't even know they made a Double Dragon. They made a Double Dragon 2 Wonder of the Dragons that was tied with Yaris for the worst game and a Metacritic score of 17.
That's pretty rough.
Ride to Hell Retribution was the third worst.
Fast and the Furious made it way down there.
Yeah, Showdown. Never even heard of it. I've heard of this. I heard of this one, NBA Unrivaled, but apparently it was a really terrible game.
Yeah, it's notoriously bad.
Amy was on that list. Leisure Suit Larry. That one, of course. Leisure Suit Larry is another one of those satire, like, horny person game. Deca Sports Freedom? Never heard of it.
Me either.
Rogue Warrior. And then Rambo. There's a Rambo video game. Rambo the video game. That's fantastic. That came out late. See, that came out in 2014.
One of the later ones, yeah. One thing that the Xbox 360 did that was actually, it was like new technology for the time, was they came out with their Kinect, or their Kinect? Was it Kinect? The camera where you could play the games on the camera, but that came out late in the system's life, like after the Wii came out. And it came out to rival the Wii. And it did okay. Yeah, it did okay, but it wasn't the same as the Wii, I don't think.
What killed the Kinect is when they came out in the Xbox One and required it.
Yeah, that was lame.
So I did not realize this. I don't know, because of where it finished on Metacritic, how it is such a popular game these days. But the 18th worst game according to Metacritic, with a Metascore of 33, is Farming Simulator.
Oh yeah, the original one, yeah. That's actually pretty popular. Now, I'm actually surprised Destroy All Humans is pretty low, because those games were actually really fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, and I'm like, there's a lot of games on the Xbox 360 that were actually fun to play, but you're looking at the list, and there's some that are really far down there.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get into next week's list of PlayStation 3, because I got so many.
Oh, dude, me too. I was telling Rook this earlier. The Xbox 360 I got when I worked at the pawn shop. I was able to get it at a decent price and stuff. The PlayStation 3, I stood in line and got it at midnight when it came out. That's the difference for me between PlayStation and Xbox. I'll buy a bargain Xbox, but PlayStation, I was in line at midnight.
I was never in line for any of the consoles, just because I was in the military at the time and I didn't want to stay up that late.
Now I have a TV. I really want to get a home system. I want a PS5, or I'm going to get a Switch at some point, but yeah, I want a system at home now.
Just wait and get the Switch too.
So wow. Star Wars: The Clone Wars is at the bottom of the list. I'm looking at the bottom of this list, and a lot of the low-end games, low-scoring games, are movie or TV tie-ins.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the case.
Yeah, they don't, and it works the opposite way too. That just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. No, it's just I'm just flipping through them.
There have been a few.
Spider-Man 2.
I mean, we've kind of talked about movie, TV adaptations and stuff like that, but there are some that have been adaptations of games where the movie was great, and there have been some video games that the adaptation was really good. I remember, I think might have been GameCube did a couple of the Harry Potter video games that were really fun. like super fun to play. So, I mean, it's rare. Very, very rare.
I'm still heavily debating on which system I'm going to buy. It's between a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series
PlayStation
X.
5.
I would go with a PlayStation 5, and the reason
I can
why...
play Xbox on my PC.
Exactly.
Because you can play the Xbox games on your PC. Actually, and we can play you can play PS5 games with me and Rook.
Yeah, that's, again, what I was thinking of my son. So I think PS5 is going to be the one I'm going to get when I finally am able to get a system.
So there's one game I played on Xbox 360 that I've never, ever, 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 ever beaten on multiple times trying to beat it. It is one of the hardest games I've ever played in general, and that is XCOM. That game is one of the most difficult games I have ever played. Oh, by the way, if we did a top 20 Borderlands, and Borderlands 2 would have been in my top 20 or top 15.
I've always been a huge Borderlands fan. I'm a Borderlands nut. Love that series so much. All right. I think when I get a PS5, I'm going to get Astrobot, one of the games I'm going to get.
Oh,
I forgot which one I'm going to get after that. Yeah.
Astrobot is so much fun.
I think my lady would like either playing it or watching me play it.
I could put you on we could get on Discord and my 3-year-old can teach you how to play.
I bet.
That game is legit. I will agree. That is one of the best games.
That is it for tonight's episode. Episode 71 is in the books. If you guys want to reach this show for advertising, for anything business related, podcastraw@gmail.com. And that email works for any of our shows that we do. podcastraw@gmail.com. Our Discord is the place to be. I can't emphasize this enough. A lot of our listeners go on the Discord. We talk about everything from Avowed to Starfield to everything nerdy in between, including our fitness channel. That's discord.gg, as in Greg, /raw podcasts, RAWPODCASTS. Put that in your browser and you'll be right there. If you don't know what Discord is, Google it. Our Facebook is Raw Podcasts. Our X is @Podcast Raw. And our Instagram,
I don't know the reason why you keep having me say it. It's Raw Podcast 1.
I just can't anymore. It's just been something I just cannot do. It's just become a thing. You can follow us individually as well. I am @TheWigit, TheWigit, everywhere.
You can follow me everywhere as some variation of Rook 213 or Tomcat 213.
And you can follow me everywhere @TheArchon.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and have a fantastic nerdy week.
Y'all stay nerdy out there.
Have a great week, guys.